Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Real Heroes Show. You got Cory and Nick with you here as always, and the moment has finally arrived. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad is out in theaters and on HBO Max. We have both watched the film. We're going to talk about it. There are going to be a lot of spoilers, so buckle up. If you haven't seen the film, if you feel safe enough to go to a theater, see it on the biggest screen you can. If you don't feel safe going to a theater, they like options, this Warner Brothers studio, so you can watch it on HBO Max from the comfort of your own home. Nick, I'm tired as hell. How about you?
Yeah, it's kind of late as we're recording this.
It's
but,
midnight.
You know what? We're doing it for the content, for our heroes out there, our subscribers, our future subscribers.
Loyal 245 subscribers.
You know, we appreciate all the views and all the subs, and you know, it was a fun time to watch a movie and to do this late night recording. Yeah.
I mean, this one was a long time coming. I think we covered stuff on this last year when we were only doing a podcast and not a YouTube channel, when the DC fandom stuff happened, and it was like, holy shit, James Gunn's doing a Suicide Squad movie, and they're going to try to redeem the awful one that came out 5 years ago. And if you're averse to foul language, we're going to curse a lot in this episode, because this movie is very R-rated, which is different from the former Suicide Squad film. There's a lot of death. There are a lot of surprises, beautiful cinematography, great music, just awesome stuff all around. Before we dive right into things, for anybody who wants to click off before we really get into the spoilers, would you recommend seeing this film?
I would, yeah.
Yeah, I would too. It's the most fun I've had with a movie, I think, all year so far.
It's a fun time.
And it's DC. I'm going to call this one the Suicide Squad, or how DC got their groove back, because the somber darkness is gone and the colorful, violent beauty has arrived. So
yes,
let's start with characters. Who do you want to start with? The ones that died or the ones that survived?
Yeah, let's go through the deaths.
Right,
get them out of the way like the movie did. So
first 10 minutes of the film, half of them die. So
I think we said before when we were covering this many months ago, we surmised that majority of them would die. We just didn't know when. And I wouldn't have predicted or guessed that within the first 10 minutes of the movie that majority of the people would die, especially some of these higher named characters, with Michael Rooker. I thought Captain Boomerang would have a little bit more time.
That made me laugh so much, because I was oh shit, they're getting rid of all of the ones from the old film right at the beginning.
They just
he got more in this movie than he did in the entire 2016 one. He threw a boomerang at somebody's head and it sliced in half, and their brains were exposed. And then he went out holding the glowing boomerang. So I guess good for him.
Yeah. I mean, everyone in that front. I mean, the way it started with Weasel drowning, I'm like, Weasel's gonna die. Weasel's the first to die. Wow, they really killed someone in the first 5 minutes of the movie. And they, I thought, oh, never mind. Derlin, Michael Rooker's character, was gonna rescue him. Nope. Just kidding. He's dead.
Did anyone do any intel that the Weasel couldn't swim?
Yeah, everyone's like, silence. And again, just I have to say, I forget what his character's name was that sold everyone out, or Blackguard, yeah.
Davidson's character.
Yeah. For the moments he had on film, I thought he was hilarious.
Yeah.
Is this a fucking werewolf? No one said it was a fucking werewolf.
I don't fuck with werewolves.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, you got a werewolf here?
Great. And
the whole plane ride was great.
His face got blown off.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he just got shot in the forehead and fell. It just
completely obliterated. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Nathan Fillion, the detachable kid, dead.
Exactly like Harley Quinn said. What the fuck? Yeah. Just I was like, this is seriously a character in DC? What?
Most annoying superpower of all time.
Yeah.
He was just like doing
and
this.
The funny thing
heads.
was when they started to shoot his arms and he's on the ground like this, like,
yeah,
like flailing on the sand. That was hilarious. Like,
so funny.
It's funny we're laughing at all these people, all these like villains dying,
viciously
but
dying.
Yeah, it was just the way that they were, brutally murdered. That was funny. Like, I can't think of I forget some of these people's names because they were barely in it.
They were barely in the movie.
the guy with the harpoon, and he's
Javelin.
Javelin, yeah. He's telling Harley Quinn to take it, and she's like, "Who gets it? What am I doing with it? Like, like, what am I supposed to do with it?"
And then she carries the damn thing around for the entire movie.
I was like, okay, so that's probably like plot device. Like she's gonna use that to, for the, I don't know, to do something with it later on in the movie. Of course,
absolutely, 100%.
She does, but, yeah. And of course, it was all a distraction. For Bloodsport's
and don't forget
five-man crew.
Don't forget Mongol, because she literally jumped on the helicopter and pulled it down and then lit up into a fucking blaze of glory.
Yep, and killed Boomerang, Captain Boomerang viciously.
Great stuff.
Yeah, and Rick Flag and Harley Quinn, they get taken away.
Yeah.
Although the way they get separated, even after being captured, was very much opposites of each other.
Oh yeah.
Rick Flag is chilling at this camp, with what seems to be, this renegade armed forces, of some kind. And then you've got Harley Quinn that's taken off to basically get married.
Arranged marriage.
Yeah.
Why not?
And the entire time I'm thinking, I know we weren't going to see anything of it, but I was wondering if like we get any mentioning or thought inside, like mental thought inside of her head, wondering if she got married, what would Mr. J say?
Well, she says after she shoots the guy, I have bad taste in men, so it's probably easiest to just
assume. That's I was like, we're talking about Joker because multiple reasons that we don't have to get into there. But when she just kills him, I was like, oh
yeah, came out of nowhere.
Okay, well, another one bites the dust. Just more killing, more deaths from people I thought that would have I'll say a bigger impact, but we might have more screen time. But nope.
The guy was the president of this Corto Maltese.
Yes.
So you'd figure he had something to do.
She just killed someone valuable, and the general takes over, and which is probably what he wanted. Yeah, because we all know what he's wanting to do. But I thought it was funny when like the whole time like they infiltrate the camp, Bloodsport's crew infiltrates the camp, and just the incessant killing and the competition between Peacemaker and Bloodsport was just
unreal. It was so
great, so great,
fucking great.
Yeah,
it's like you see the one where Bloodsport shoots the like the fan that's next to the bathtub, and then it falls in and kills the guy,
electrocutes him,
and then Peacemaker shoots the other dude and doesn't kill him, and he's like, non-lethal, I win, and he's like, no, and then the bullet explodes within the guy's body and his whole torso just blows up.
Yeah.
And what does he say? He's like that's unnecessary, and he's like, yeah, but they're dope as fuck.
Yeah, he goes unnecessary. Yeah, he goes, but it's cool, they always win when they're dope as fuck. He's like, damn, he's right. Yeah. I'm like, wow, okay.
But that's Peacemaker turns out to be a total douchewad in the end. So.
Yeah, he does. For Waller's, like, I don't know what you want to call him, like just a backup plan.
Contingency plan.
Yeah, safety net for like if this secret operation goes wrong, well, you're the other secret operation within the operation to make sure that this never sees the light of day. And I mean, again, that battle that Peacemaker and Rick Flag have, was pretty brutal. And I'm like, dude, John Cena is jacked out of his mind.
Yep,
literally. He would like, not to say that Rick Flag couldn't hold his own, because he kind of did, and he had the upper hand with that lead pipe.
Mm-hmm.
But tile is, I guess, apparently greater than pipe, and
especially when it's sharp and goes right through your heart.
yeah, that was some graphic shit right there. I was like,
it was like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
It was. I was like, fatality.
Yeah. So another member of the original Suicide Squad film that got offed in this one. So that's 2. I almost thought that Amanda Waller was going to die when she got hit with that golf club.
Yeah.
Turns out she didn't. But her character is cold as fucking ice. And
dude,
Viola Davis is so good as Amanda Waller. And
she's
man, I feel like this one, like the PG-13 2016 version did not let her go like full bore.
Right.
And this one, she was like screaming, "Fuck this motherfucker," that and all that at the one scene. Man, awesome, great stuff.
Yeah. I feel like she didn't get to fully act out for Viola Davis's acting skills.
Yeah.
Mira, she is a huge Viola Davis fan because of How to Get Away with Murder, which I've seen just by the happenstance, seen a few episodes here and there, and because it's kind of interesting, but just to see her acting, I'm like, damn, she's good.
Yeah, she's very good.
And then in this movie, I'm like, damn, she's really good. Like, just you as cold as ice. Just like I'm like, damn, she just does it so easily. But I mean, when you can when you're that good. But I thought she got off too with the golf club, and I was like,
yeah. But it turns out that
Viola Davis,
she's okay. So that's
just
good.
Got a nice lump,
I'd like to see
golf ball sized lump.
I'd like to see her show up in maybe the Peacemaker show. That'd be kind of fun. So
I think she might. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them.
Good chance. But who else died? Peter Capaldi, the Thinker.
He had it coming, right? Like,
oh yeah, he's an asshole.
I mean, yeah, like I was like, he's probably gonna die at some point. And obviously it was fitting poetry to die by the creature that you've tortured for 30 years.
Yeah, and he got liquefied. Literally, like he smashed into the glass so hard that his entire body just exploded.
Before that, he got ripped in half.
Yeah.
And then so whatever cognitive presence was left was then splattered with the rest of his body along that glass wall there, which proceeds to wake up Peacemaker.
Yes.
But I think Capaldi did a good job as the temporary villain.
Oh yeah. Capaldi's a stellar actor.
Oh yeah.
If you ever watch Doctor Who, he's phenomenal in that. So that's not a surprise. Then I guess we saved the best for last with the deaths. Good old fucking Polka Dot Man. You don't talk about a character that when this first got announced, I was like, that looks dumb as fuck. I have no interest in that character. But David Dastmalchian was terrific in that role. You could tell that he was like genuinely tortured by his entire life. His powers ended up being completely awesome.
Yeah.
And then he finally has like a redemptive hero moment, and then Starro just smushes him like a grape.
Yeah, like I like the temporary albeit short backstory we get from him, where he explains how he gets his powers. We get the Star Labs name drop from his mother working there, and unfortunately experimenting on him. But to top it off, he's like, what do you say? Like it's an interstellar virus or something like that. And but it's not contagious, which I find to be interesting. Just when you kind of see him in the woods at night, he's like, his face is all lighting up. He has to vomit polka dots. So I'm like, oh, that's colorful.
Yeah. And then somebody got like a Phillips Hue strip and put it behind a bush when he was vomiting, and it was just spitting up all the different like colors or whatever. That was go awesome. So good. It was that one. I screamed, "Oh no!" when he got killed. I was like, "Damn it!"
I thought he would make it. I thought he would make it because when he's like, I just think they're all my mom, and I just brutally murdered my mom. It's like, that's not dark. But it's interesting how the polka dots just are almost like this accurate, like acidic rounds, right?
Yeah.
It just disintegrates whatever it touches. And, of course, whenever it would switch to his perspective and it would see like his Karen'd out fat mom or whatever, like, you know, just like when Starro just turned into a giant his mom, and it just and like the leg just starts just disintegrating. I'm like,
dude, it was so funny, and it looked like an old school horror movie the way that they shot it. Like, it was clearly obvious that the lady that played his mom was just like on a green screen, and then they superimposed the entire city behind her. Like, that was awesome.
Meanwhile, dangling from Starla's arm, you've got King Shark.
Just Nanoe, the man, the legend, Jaws. That's right. So
representing.
Let's get into them, because we have our winners, the people who survived for now,
the living contestants.
Sylvester Stallone was fucking awesome as King Shark. I can't believe I'm even saying that, but it was so funny. Every little gag, the fake mustache thing, bird hand, nom, like, so funny. Just absolutely great. Yeah, book. He's reading the book upside down.
Yeah, like I think they got the perfect guy for the job.
Yeah.
You know, just it's all in the mannerism of his speaking voice, the tone. He's wearing these shorts, like, you know, for whatever reason, like
a bathing suit.
Yeah, they're like board shorts. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, it was
need one.
Yeah,
oh man,
his parts where he's trying to eat Ratcatcher, at first, to when he just eats like some of the guys in the village, to the part where he rips a guy clean in half.
Oh, and with the lightning strike timed right behind it. That shit was dope. It was
super awesome.
Yeah. So he was like comedic relief, but also incredibly violent.
I loved every second of it too.
It was fantastic. I love the scene where he saw the little fish things, and they're like all sweet looking, and they make the outline of him, and they follow him as he's moving around and shit. And then once they get released on him, they like turn around and they have these giant sharp fangs, and they go after him.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Which was interesting, because that was really the only thing that could, I guess, penetrate his skin and do damage to him.
Right.
He's getting shot with, like, you know, ARs, and nothing is, you know, phasing him whatsoever. Yep. I mean, not to mention, like, he got shot pretty drastically with blood sports weaponry, which is seemingly more high tech than what these, you know, this coalition has. And it's like, it kind of knocked him on his ass, but I'm like, he doesn't have a hole in him at all. And so, great, what's going to phase him? And I thought for a second, like, maybe him getting slammed in the building might do something. But no.
He's got like a little limp at the end.
Yeah,
that's about it.
He might be a little tired, but
he's like the Hulk of their group.
And the funny thing is, after that, he just wants to keep eating. Nom.
Yeah. He wants to eat all the people that have little starros on their face.
He's like, really? That's what's on your mind right now?
Terrible idea.
Yeah.
The CGI was also fantastic on him.
It was actually very good.
Very convincing.
Very good on him. Yes.
It's hard to make
for a walking, slightly talking shark
thing.
Yeah. Which, if you think about that, like, imagine what they could do, especially after we've already gotten 8 movies. Imagine what they could do with, like, what's his face? The gorilla. I can't think of his name. The telepathic gorilla that's in DC.
Oh, Gorilla Grodd?
Gorilla Grodd, yes.
Yeah.
Like, imagine what they could do with him, like, with the CGI. So, like, especially with all that Planet of the Apes stuff. Like, that'd be cool to see him in a future DC movie.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
He's a Flash villain, so I'd love to see him be in the new Flash movie. They seem to be overstuffing that film with characters, so why not throw more in there? I guess would be perfectly fine
at some point.
So who else is on the living list? Harley Quinn, obviously. As much as I thought it would be kind of cool if he killed her off, just because it would be shocking, I really never thought it was gonna happen. And of course, she had the javelin the entire film. It's a living, breathing Chekhov's gun, and obviously it went right through Starro's eye, which led to the rats getting in there and took the beast down, which was cool. Her fight scene when she was escaping from the little torture area was absolutely ridiculous.
Very colorful,
so
and beautiful, good. And over the top, crazy. Yeah. She was running off walls and just stabbing, slicing.
Yep.
Shooting. Yeah.
Everything.
I mean, yeah, she, we saw the scene when it was in the trailer, but when she walks out the door and sees them like terribly sneaking across the road and she's like, "You want me to go back inside?"
Yeah. You can still do your plan.
Sweet. Yeah. Just, I mean, you know, she, Margot Robbie obviously, you know, kills in that role.
There's no one else who can play that character.
No,
like,
yeah. Like a live action. No, yeah. It's sort of like, you know, any of these like particular great casting based both
like,
on DC and Marvel. Like
it's like Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
To me, it's basically the same tier at this point. Where
right,
even if like when you watch the What If trailers and you hear somebody else voicing Tony Stark, it's like it's not Tony Stark.
Yeah, no,
it's like fake Tony Stark, right?
Same thing with like maybe like Chris. I'd say Chris Evans playing Cap. You know, like Hemsworth playing Thor.
Right. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Right, or even like for Gal Gadot playing Wonder Woman.
Yep,
you know, Batman's always tough because it's just been
anybody can be Batman.
Hand washed. Yeah, I mean,
I can be Batman. You can be Batman. Listeners, you can be Batman. Let us know in the comments if you'd like to subscribe.
I will always stick to my guns in this one and say Cavill will forever and be the best Superman aside from can't think of his damn name. Christopher Reeves. Yes. Yeah. Old school. But I mean, even then though, like, who knows what the hell they're gonna do with that?
I don't think they know what they're gonna do with it.
I don't think so either. So I mean, I think at this point DC might just be focusing on all the villains at this point. Like
their most successful films lately have been R-rated villain stories, so why not, right?
Go with what makes you money and fans don't complain about, I guess. Yep. But
right. So let's round out
Ratcatcher.
So Ratcatcher, she's alive. Character that took me by surprise. I didn't think I was gonna
kind of like it all.
Not that I didn't think I was gonna like her. I didn't think she was gonna be that important to the film. And then she's kind of like the
unsung hero,
you know, and the source of optimism and positivity. Her dad was Ratcatcher 1, which was Taika Waititi as a fucking heroin addict, which was hilarious.
God.
His hair was just like
crazy. When we were watching, we're like, how did they get on the top of that building? Because it looks pretty crazy to just kind of like parkour up there.
Yep.
But I mean, hey, it's Taika Waititi, so it's CGI. Who cares at that point? But so kind of funny. So that answers the question as to, you know, who he plays.
Right.
As we didn't know for basically the longest time up until tonight. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. I thought she was going to bite the dust too.
I thought Peacemaker was going to kill her in the head.
Well, I guess we'll get into that in a second. But the rats were the unsung hero. You know, they were basically saved the day. And you know, if you're not a fan of rats, like my girlfriend, then or Bloodsport, then this movie was not for you. At least these parts, you can cover your eyes, fast forward, block out your ears. You know, there were a lot of rats, and granted, it was CGI.
There were a few that were practical though.
Yeah, so some of them looked real enough.
I think James Gunn said that they had like 2 or 3 trained rats on set for like the ones that are like sitting on her shoulder and whatnot, which is
crazy.
It's pretty cool. Kind of wild. So she lived. I like the fact that she lived because it would suck if she was always like not really a villain to a degree, right? You know, like, so if they killed her, it would have been like the only like truly good person they off. That would be kind of shitty. So and then the last one, well, not really the last one. We'll get to the last one in a minute, but Bloodsport. has the full hero's journey in this one. He goes from being
very much
total asshole who doesn't want to take part in anything and is a horrible father. Him and his daughter scream "fuck you" at each other like 75 times in one scene.
I was like, wow, okay, well,
yeah, it's like this movie is rated R.
talk. Yeah, it's not how you should talk to your kid or dad, but okay.
He becomes the leader. He does the right thing. He doesn't walk away. He's the one that strikes the deal with Amanda Waller to get them all released and have them all be free. So, and boy, Idris Elba is just a movie star at another fucking level.
Oh yeah, he crushed it. Absolutely crushed it.
His charisma is just off the charts, and it's like he's not even trying. It's ridiculous. And I'm kind of hoping some gray grows into my beard soon after that, because he looked badass with that.
Yeah, I don't feel as bad as having some salt and pepper anymore, because I mean,
aging gracefully is a good thing, right?
He he made it look pretty fantastic. So I'm like, you know what? If Idris Elba can pull it off, I have hope for myself and others in our category. But you know, it's again, like, he has, I think, yet again proven to be just this action hero or action star. You know, and again, we knew that he wasn't going to get off by any means. Like, but there was a slight chance. I'm like when, would he? And then his daughter finds out, but she did it a different way. It was him living and just kind of being shown on the news as to what was going on. But so I wonder if we'll see more of him in the future.
I would love that. I think that would be fantastic, even if it was just like his own movie and not a Suicide Squad thing. Just do a Bloodsport movie. He obviously has enough cool tech, and he's enough of a movie star to carry all of it. So I'd be totally fine with that. And then I guess the most interesting one, because of the fact that there's a 8-episode series of television that's coming out in January, so literally 5 months from now, is Peacemaker. And I and you both thought that he had bit the dust when he took that tiny bullet from Bloodsport, but the post-credit scene all the way at the very, very end confirmed that he was still alive, and it sets up the HBO Max series that John Cena is going to be the star in. James Gunn wrote all 8 episodes. I think he directed 5 of them. I'm very curious what they meant when they said saving the fucking world, which is why they're involved with him still, because what does it all mean? It's curious, it's exciting, and I thought John Cena was terrific.
He was hilarious. Oh my god.
He had said originally that the role was kind of like a douchey Captain America.
Yes.
And then that was exactly what it turned out to be. Like, it was the guy who goes to get the mission done by any means necessary. And follows the mission to a T, except he's an asshole while he does it. And he just brutally murders people. And boy, his skill with that machete.
Disgusting.
Lopping people's heads off, stabbing them 6 ways a Sunday, shooting people in the head. Ridiculous. Awesome.
Blow darts, whatever, blowing bullets, whatever those were.
The hell was that?
I thought it was interesting because he had I believe he had made a little comment to Bloodsport about his, like, I can shoot, bullets into the holes of the bullets you shoot without touching the sides, whatever, like, small bullets. And in the end, it was a smaller bullet that Bloodsport shot that went through his bullet, that went through his throat. And, again, I was like, well, okay, I guess we're getting a prequel of him, but
here's not.
Psych.
So I also love the his character intro, because Amanda Waller reads almost verbatim what she said about Bloodsport. And he's like, you just said the same thing about me. And then Peacemaker's like, yeah, but I do it better. And he just, like, keeps on walking. I thought that was pretty funny.
And he's just standing there in his tidy whities, like, it's like, that's racist.
Good for him to have the confidence to just be in your underwear like that.
I mean, like, he basically did that through his entire wrestling career. So
yeah, I guess that is true.
It probably didn't. He's probably like, oh, this was like my daily job, so it's fine. He
spent his, like, entire life half naked in front of thousands of people, so I guess it's not really that big of a deal.
But, exactly.
But yeah, so that's the entire cast. We went through all of them. It's a lot. And I feel like the characters in the cast are really what make this movie. The plot is relatively straightforward.
Very.
Task Force X has to go on a mission. They have to stop this thing. There's a plot twist. The end. Right? There's not. The plot is nothing overly complicated, but the characters and the moments with the characters and all that is what really set it apart. The comedy, the banter between them, the action. It was a humongous blockbuster. It felt so much bigger than any movie that I've seen this year. Like even like Black Widow, which is a Marvel Studios movie that had a huge budget, didn't feel like the spectacle that this film did. And I love that. The cinematography, they shot it with red cinema cameras. The cameras that they developed were made specifically for this film. They're about this big. They're super tiny. Wow. So
interesting.
And you can mount whatever lens you want to. They have different mounts for every brand of lens from every decade, you could imagine for these things. And they did a featurette where they showed how with these cameras, they're able to get into smaller places that a normal camera rig can't. So a lot of that stuff where they're in the bus or,
like the rubble or whatever.
When they're underneath the rubble, when they're doing the Harley Quinn fight scene and the camera is like right up on her, all that kind of stuff. James Gunn was saying that they couldn't have shot anything like that until now, because now they have the camera technology to do that. And I thought the movie was beautiful. I love the fact that it was in a 190:1 aspect ratio, because it filled up the entire television, which if half of the audience or more is going to be watching this from home on HBO Max instead of in a theater, that's great. And it also plays well for the IMAX crowd, because it just puts it on the largest screen possible. So killer stuff there. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to bring up or mention, because my brain is scrambled eggs at this point.
I was just looking at a couple of things I had wrote down beforehand. I say like just the cinematography, like the vibrancy. We were kind of saying the vibrancy of the movie,
so
the color palette. I really enjoyed the color palette. Very easy on the eyes, very easy to watch, very easy to notice the detail, to not make the CGI like kind of just bad. But I'd say like there's a couple comments I'll say. I know James Gunn had said like he thinks superhero movies are boring. So was this his way of kind of changing it up, or trying to I forget what like he said exactly, but just to sort of twist things and shake things up a bit. Which, I mean, when you get free reign and on a rated R movie, and you can just do whatever you want. I mean, I think it's easier to kind of make that happen. And as I think a fair comparison to his Guardians movies that he got before and what he's going to do with Guardians 3, it'll be very interesting with Guardians 3, especially after this. But because it did have a Guardians feel to it. It just felt like this was a movie that, before the range was from 1 to 10, and James Gunn pulled a Spinal Tap and went to 11.
Straight up to 11.
Which isn't a bad thing by any means, because obviously we see what we got. And, I saw right afterwards that apparently Warner Brothers wants James Gunn to direct more movies within the DC realm. So, I mean... So it'll be interesting to see what he does, or maybe what he wants to do. And again, if he continues to get free reign on a lot of DC things, it'll be very interesting to see what route he goes, who he speaks to. David Ayer was in the special thanks.
He was,
a couple other big names were in there too. Jim Lee was in there. Frank Miller was in there as well. So, it'll be interesting to see where he goes from here. As our buddy pointed out, Zack Snyder was not in the special thanks.
He is an executive producer, though.
You're right, but EP, so
his wife both.
Yeah, so I think it was pretty interesting too. But I'd say at this point, that about covers it. Music was good. Song choices were on point. So
asking the question of what does he do now? I think he's going back to Marvel because he's going to finish the Guardians trilogy.
Yeah.
But I think after that, I think he's done.
I think he goes back
I think he's going to go back to DC.
Yeah.
Because Marvel will trust him and they will let him do more than most of their other directors, probably. Right. Like there was a thing, one of the EPs for the What If show said that one of the stories they pitched got shot down because it was very similar to what James Gunn is doing in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So
interesting.
If it's batshit crazy enough to be a what if story, and then Marvel had to be like, no, that's what we're doing in the actual movie, Guardians 3 is probably going to be pretty wild. However,
I think so, yeah.
There is still, it's not a lack of creative control, but it's just like Feige's over your shoulder.
Right.
You know? And that's fine, because that's the way that they built that universe. I think James Gunn came in and got the green light from DC and Warner Brothers to go crazy and do whatever he wanted and execute his vision from start to finish. And I think he really enjoyed that. And I think he will go back. I know that he was originally offered a Superman film when Disney fired him back in the day. Yeah. And he turned it down because he said, I don't think I want to take on that character because it's held in too high regard from too many people. And then they were desperate and they said, well, okay, fine, pick your franchise from DC. You can do literally anything you want. And he picked Suicide Squad. So I wouldn't be surprised if he came back and did some more off the wall DC type stuff. Yeah. Or did some things focusing on some of these characters, kind of like how he did the Peacemaker show for HBO Max. So we'll see what happens there. One thing I did want to touch on, because we really didn't talk about it too much. Starro was excellent. Yeah. Scary. Yeah. Like the idea of a giant starfish walking around a city is dumb when you say it. Like if you write it down on paper, it's a killer pink, orange, and blue starfish with one giant eye. Yeah. What? Okay. But the way that it shot the little mini Starros out of its armpit and it lashed onto people, and then it turned into a giant hive mind, and then you shoot that kind of like a Dawn of the Dead, zombie type thing. Yeah. It was really effective. I thought it was really cool, and it was pretty scary for what it was. The one woman, when she screamed like, "This is our city," or whatever, like speaking Starro's words. The city is ours, for him. It worked really well, and big tree fall hard, and thankfully that was the end. But it didn't go without some pretty serious destruction. I also loved how it was a final battle for a DC movie, and it took place in broad daylight. Yeah, wonderful. If you look at Batman v Superman or the Justice League or Suicide Squad from 2016,
it's all dark.
It's all like the end of the day, pitch black, super dark. This was just like out in broad daylight, massive wide angle lenses, blue sky everywhere. Like I thought that was cool. It was a change from everything. Which this whole movie felt like a change from everything. It felt vastly different from all the other DCEU films that came before it, and probably for the better. I know that there are a large contingent of people. We're probably losing subscribers as I say that, but I thought this was easily the best DCEU film to date. I don't count the Nolan movies in the DCEU. DCEU starts for me with Man of Steel and then forward. And I think this was better than any of them. Sorry, Snyder Cut folks, but this one was more entertaining to me. It was just great. All the practical effects, all of it was awesome. So
I agree though.
So the moment of truth, out of 10, where are you going with this one?
I'm gonna throw two other comparative scores out there before I give mine very quickly.
Okay, sure.
Our friend, director Carlisle, who watched the movie with me tonight, who's a very big Snyder Cut fan. He did say that he thought the movie was much better than he anticipated, but he gave it a 7.8.
He's like IGN.
But it's funny you say that, because I'm like, IGN is notorious for 7s across the board. Anything.
Now looking to see what they gave it, or unless you already
so
know.
I did. I'm blown away by what they gave it. Oh no, are you looking it up?
I am, but if you know it, just say it.
So they gave it a 9.
Wow.
They
Holy
gave
shit,
it a 9.
Okay.
I was completely blown away by the fact that they gave it a 9, because I'm like, because I'll be honest with you, at right after the movie, when he and I spoke about it, I was like 8.5, solid 8.5, you know, like, but I think if I watched it again, I would have possibly agreed that this is probably worth a 9, because of just, I mean, again, him cranking it up to an 11 on the scale of things, just everything we talked about, actors, characters, you know, just beyond the plot, in essence, because this is a completely character, you know, derived movie. So, which I'm all for. So what would you give it?
9.2.
9.2.
Where I sat on it.
Okay.
I don't usually score movies that high, but I thought this was outrageously entertaining. We laughed from start to finish.
Yeah.
We like went to the fetal position from some of the kills. I think it's going to be like insanely rewatchable, which you can watch it as many times as you want between now and September 5th on HBO Max, which is awesome. I can, as soon as this video is done recording,
go watch it again.
12:40 in the morning, I can put it on to fall asleep to tonight, and that
probably will.
Is awesome.
So on Dream of Rats.
Yeah, I thought it was the best DCEU film to date. I think James Gunn is a sick, twisted fuck, but I think he's also a genius. And I can't wait. I'm so excited for the Peacemaker show.
Yeah, Peacemaker show I'm really looking forward to, especially after seeing what he was able to do, what John Cena was able to do.
Right.
Like that, I think that show is very promising, and has increased my hype level for it. But I think that'll be cool. I think it'll further the plot along with maybe something he might do. So,
and it's like building a cinematic universe, right? It's like you watch this movie and you love, and then you get a post-credit scene, and then you find out that show's coming out in a couple months. You get people excited for it. Like, that's the Marvel model. Like, DC hasn't really adopted that too much,
right?
And this movie just set that off, and now you're gonna get 8 episodes of a great character with probably some of these other people showing up, and that could lead into something else, into something else, into something else, and then Warner Brothers just can laugh all the way to the bank, which I think is awesome. I hope this movie makes a lot of money. I know it's R-rated, and R-rated movies don't make as much money as like a PG-13 or whatever, but I do hope that its box office is pretty high and successful, because I would love to see, not even just from James Gunn, but other DC movies where Warner Brothers just hands the keys to somebody and trusts them with a vision and an idea, and it doesn't become a Batman vs Superman or a 2016 Suicide Squad where the studio interferes halfway through and changes large portions of the entire film. They gotta just let these people do their thing and trust the process, and the results are evident. You know, if it's a good script and a good story with a good director, it's going to be a good movie. Yeah.
And the last thing I'll say is James Gunn posted something online prior to the movie coming out saying that he's surprised that no one figured out who the Easter egg character is for someone that was in the Guardians movies. And I noticed it right away. It is none other than Pom Klementieff, I think if I pronounced her name correctly, who plays Mantis in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. She was the dancer in red in the bar that they visit when they try to abduct Thinker. So I was like,
fun little cameo.
Mantis! Hey! We figured it out.
Marvel people in a DC movie.
I know, right? Just the Guardians crew sticking together, but
that's it.
Yeah, fun little cameo Easter egg. So
yeah, just fun movie overall.
It really was.
I can't wait to watch it again and again and again on HBO Max. So
multiple times.
It is now 12:42 in the morning, and we need to get this video up in 9 hours. So
yeah,
that's going to do it for us, folks. We would love to hear from you if you got the chance to see this movie, whether you watched it at HBO or whether you went to a theater to see it. Would love to hear your thoughts. Who's your favorite character? Who are you surprised to see live? Who are you surprised to see die? If I'm an idiot and the Snyder Cut is still your favorite movie, then let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. So you can also support the channel for free. All you have to do is like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on those notifications, and share the video with your friends. We will be back. Normally, Bad Batch gets the Friday slot, but it got booted for this video for the Suicide Squad. So our Bad Batch review will be on Saturday, which is exciting. It's part 1 of the 2-part finale, and a season 2 has been greenlit already, which is awesome. And then we'll be back on Monday with a Ted Lasso review. So stay tuned for all of those things. And until next time, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Peace.
Maker.